Hey there guys, what's going on? Earlier this morning, the Overwatch PTR got an exciting new update with a brand new map, the Horizon Lunar Colony, which we will explore in another video. There was also several balance changes that I think will have a pretty big impact on the game, but we will have to wait and see how these actually do influence and change the meta. Anyway, jumping into these changes, we'll start with McCree. What they have changed is, they've changed McCree's Deadeye so that targets now begin locking on after 0.2 seconds instead of 0.8 seconds. Damage accumulated over the first second of this is increased from 20 to 80. Damage per second after the first second remains unchanged. Basically what the development comment says about this is McCree's ultimate can deal a lot of damage, which everyone knows. It gets insta-kills and it's fantastic when it actually has time to build up. But it was often too difficult to get even a small amount of damage out before being stopped or killed. Basically, everyone knows this. If you've played McCree, you'd end up getting slept or you'd end up getting killed or knocked off from somewhere. You get moved, someone would wall you. Basically, these changes allow it to be more flexible and more powerful. Which is interesting. This is an interesting change, such as that this isn't really the McCree change that most people were expecting that he'd receive. People were more convinced that he'd receive a change to his role or his flashbang to be able to make him better deal with multiple flankers, which is one of his major weaknesses at the moment. Basically, he can't deal with a Tracer, a Genji, and a Winston all diving in at the same time. I mean, no hero can really do that, but if that does happen in the situation, he's completely boned. But we will have to wait and see how this does affect McCree's viability, because it is an interesting change, but it might not be the one that actually makes him viable. Next, moving on to the changes they've made to Reaper. The Reaping, which is his Reaper's passive ability, has been changed such that it removed his health orbs, but he now gains 20% of all damage done to heroes as health. But the development comment reads, Reaper's old passive ability was useful if you could kill a bunch of enemies in a row, but since enemies need to be dead for it to work, it wasn't very helpful unless the situation was already in your favor. His new passive lets him get immediate benefit from it, especially when fighting tank heroes. So basically what this means, old Reaper's passive ability was actually very good. It was fantastic. Basically, if you killed a lot of people, you'd get the orbs and you'd keep going. You'd heal and you'd be able to keep on your way. This change will actually allow Reaper to take advantage of the passive healing during a fight and will allow him to be much more aggressive, as he can just heal himself consistently rather than having to finish off a target before actually healing. This also affects his ultimate ability, so if you ultimate in a huge group of people, they're going to be very hard pressed to actually stop you and kill you because you'll just be healing so much damage during the ultimate. And lastly, moving on to the changes they've made to Roadhog. His head hitbox size has been reduced by 20%, which is obviously very helpful and helps improve his survivability. But they've also changed his scrap gun such that his bullet damage has been decreased by 33%, his fire rate has increased by 30%, and his clip size has increased from 4 to 5. The developer comment for this one reads, Roadhog's head size was abnormally large compared to similarly sized characters, which is absolutely true if you've played any Roadhog, which I have recently. Snipers and basically Soldier and anyone who just spams damage will be able to just plink it into you, hit you in the head loads because your headbox is massive. But yeah, the scrap gun change reduces the power of his hook combo and alternate fire burst damage potential while still keeping his DPS roughly the same, which I'm not 100% sure about. I can't really say how this will actually affect Roadhog, whether this will be a buff or a nerf. It seems to be both. Basically, depending on the situation, it could be seen as both a nerf and a buff. This will make his hook combo less effective, as was mentioned in the developer note, but he will be able to consistently do more damage at short and medium range with the rate of fire increase. Basically, you'll be able to just press left, right click more often and deal more damage to, say, Ryan shields, Winston bubbles, stuff like that. You'll be able to destroy those much faster and you'll be able to get headshots on people. So you will probably be relying more on headshots rather than just straight up you've dealt 200 damage to their body with your big shotgun. You're probably relying more on headshots than you were before, this is an interesting change. I always like changes like this that aren't clear whether they're a nerf or a buff, and it takes a little bit of playing to work out actually how it influences the character. But yeah, there was also a number of other changes, mostly bug fixes, which I will leave a link to the patch notes in the description if you are interested in looking at those. I also did forget to mention that the Oni, Genji, and Officer Diva skins have been added to classic loot boxes, so you can get, even if you didn't complete the Nexus 2.0 challenge, you'll be able to get Oni, Genji, and Officer Diva. Whether you'll be able to unlock them with credits, I'm not sure. I'll have a look and I will check. But anyway, guys, these changes are all super interesting and hopefully they shake up the meta a little bit and we start seeing more Reapers and McCrees buzzing around. This has been Luke from Less Than Average Gaming, and I hope you guys have an above average day, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye! Somebody once told me the